Hey guys, what's up? It's Yannick. Welcome back to Gasoline Culture. So we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and you're probably asking yourselves why we're sitting on the floor meditating. Well, it's obvious, because we have this brute here next to me, and I think I need a little bit of peace before we fire this thing up and go for an insane ride. Check it out. Alright guys, so we're now inside the Aventador SV. So first and foremost, a big thank you to my good friend Beni, or Zeus on Tour on social media. Please go check out his channels. So we have Instagram, that's Zeus on Tour, as well as YouTube. He has an amazing car collection and an even more amazing life story. Alright, so we've all seen the exterior of this car, and we all know what this car looks like. But you know, few people have actually driven one of these cars, and we're gonna try and give you a little bit of sort of insight on what this monster is like to drive. So obviously, as you can tell, this thing is an absolute brute, and you can also sort of feel that when you're driving this car. It is absolutely crazy. It's definitely not the lightest of cars, that you can feel right off the bat. But I mean, what a monster it is. Alright guys, let me give you a couple numbers here. It's a naturally aspirated V12, 6.5 liter displacement, and puts out 750 horsepower to the four wheels. And 0 to 60 takes place in 2.8 seconds, which is actually pretty good considering the fact that it's a pretty heavy car. It's officially just under 1,600 kilograms. However, many sources have reported that this car is actually closer to 2 tons, which, if I'm honest with you, I can actually feel when driving it. It definitely isn't the most nimble of cars. It doesn't feel like an LT does. Sounds better though. Wow, listen to those downshifts. So admittedly, this car is not fully stock. We did hook up Beni with a full Capristo exhaust, and yes, it may have cat delete pipes in there somewhere, but no further information on that. I think you can hear what we're talking about here. Right, so what does it feel like to drive? I mean, as I said before, it's rather heavy, and that's no secret. This is the big boy Lambo. You know, this is not supposed to be the super nimble and agile super sports car. I think I'll leave that up to you know, the new Superleggera that's coming if we're talking Lamborghini. This car is basically just, you know, it's a modern day Countach. That's probably the best way to describe this thing. It's heavy, it's got a huge motor, it's unbelievably thirsty, but it's just got so much character and so much drama. The gearbox. It is the old ISR unit, so it's a single clutch sequential gearbox. Admittedly, it's not the newest of technologies out there, but I think it really does suit the character of this car. I mean, this car is a modern day Countach. What do you expect? It has to be brutal, it has to be a monster, and I really think that the gearbox helps out. The downshifts as well as the upshifts are actually not slow at all. They're just really jolty, and like, you know, it just gives you a kick in the back of the neck every time you shift. I probably wouldn't like it in another car where I know that it's a lightweight version and it's supposed to be super fast. But in this car, I think it's great. It really adds to that drama, and like it's so exciting, and you can hear it working all the time. It's not perfect, and that's exactly what I love about this gearbox. So the main difference for me between the standard Aventador and this SV is actually the suspension. The magnetic ride shocks really make a huge difference. The old car always felt too harsh and not compliant at all. It didn't suck up any bumps. It was just very jittery and like kind of wallowy at the same time. Not the best handling car, if I may say so. This car, however, I mean, the shocks really change everything. A lot of companies are actually using these magnetic ride shocks with a lot of success. So we have them in the Ferrari 488 GTB. You can find them in the sort of track-focused Camaros, things like that. And they really work very well. They're very compliant. There's progressive feel when going through corners, also at faster speeds. And yeah, it just really enables you to feel the car, which is it's not given on an Aventador. And the other main thing that they've changed is actually the steering. It's now got this dynamic steering, which is presumably out of an Audi RS6 or something. But it does work. I mean, it's progressive slightly. I mean, it's as good as dynamic steering can be within a Lamborghini. And I think it actually does give some decent feedback, even though this car is very heavy and four-wheel drive. You do have a certain amount of sort of feeling coming through the steering wheel, which is quite impressive. I mean, I didn't expect anything to come through, but it's pretty good actually. I don't mind it. So the brakes are actually ceramics on all four corners, and they work very well. Decent amount of brake feel, much better than the earlier generation Lamborghini ceramics. And when you have a car that is relatively heavy with this much power coming this fast, you definitely need a set of good brakes, and they do the job very well. So nothing negative there. So let's quickly talk about this interior. I have to give it to Lambo here. I think that the interior on this car is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you'd think, yeah, it's Italian, things like that. The whole build quality and everything is not going to be top-notch, but let me tell you, it is. I mean, there is vast use of Alcantara and leather in here, a ton of carbon fiber everywhere. And whilst these carbon fiber buckets may not be the most comfortable of seats, and they do sort of give you a little bit of an awkward driving position, they look so awesome and they keep you in place. And actually, one part that I really love about the interior is the carbon fiber floor. And there's no floor mats in this car, forget it. It's just carbon fiber with a little bit of skateboarding grip tape over the top of it. It just looks so damn cool. And it's just a wonderful place to be. I mean, just looking through that little rear window, looking at the slats that are covering that amazing 6.5 liter naturally aspirated V12. It's just a cool place to be. And this digital display here that actually, sort of shows you everything you need to know. There's a G meter there and the sort of race style rev counter. I think it's absolutely awesome. It makes you feel like you're in a fighter jet, and really just emphasizes that crazy Lamborghini experience, and that's exactly the way it should be. So concludingly, this car is one of the true last monsters coming out of Sant'Agata di Bolognese. It's an absolute beast, and it's exactly how a Lamborghini should be. This car really embodies, the whole Lamborghini history, and it can really be called a modern day Countach.